Daily Broadside, day 693. The question you have to always keep asking yourself is, can I spend $800 almost in less than 24 hours in Richmond, Virginia? And the answer to that I've discovered is unequivocally yes, you can. You can absolutely do that. Tickets, Uber, food, more food, beverages, 40,000 breweries, gas, merchandise at the show, an Airbnb, another Uber, some Waffle House, another brewery, some more beer. It's insane. It was insane. It was gone. I was like, where did that go? I don't even know, but that's not important. The important thing to say is that, God, there's just some cities that speak to you. D.C. speaks to me. Winston-Salem, North Carolina speaks to me. Richmond, Virginia, for whatever reason, speaks to me. I don't know what it is. I just like going there. It's just a cool place and all. And I had a blast the other day. This was Sunday. I've been a little busy, so I've missed doing these. I don't know if I'd miss it as much as I've just forgotten. But at any rate, we get there, right? I roll up for the show. We go in there and we bar hop and all. The Answer. Oh, that was the best place I went to. They've got some kind of fruity beers that they call Juice, Joose, not like the Four Loko stuff that I think used to be made or whatever. But golly, I think I could. I don't even know if there was alcohol in it. I slammed that stuff like it was like I was drinking like boysenberry extract or something. It was insane. I don't know how they make that crap. But great place. Food, beverage, video games, all kinds of dumb crap up in there. That was a really cool place. Then we hopped around to a couple other places before we took in the show, right? Show was great. God, if you've never been to a metal show, and I've been to hundreds of them, you're missing out on life. I'm telling you, man. You just don't get it. You don't get what you're missing. It's people watching level 1000. It's just so cool. You got all the like metal chicks out in there, all their Hot Topic gear, dressed like, scantily clad, just awesomeness. It's a tattoo convention, the likes of which you've never seen. And you know what I find as I climb in the number of tattoos? I'd say I've got to be in the 80th percentile of, how many tattoos I have compared to the rest of the human populace. Man, there's a lot of people that have tattoos, but not exactly as many as I have. But it's funny how you watch people that have like 2 or 3 tattoos. They act different when they're like walking around sleeveless, and it's just, I don't know how to put my finger on it, but it's like the more tattoos you get, the less you care about showing off how many tattoos you have. It's like you're just satisfied with the fact that, welcome to the club. I'm glad you got your first arm tattoo, But at any rate, that's not really important. But go to the show, whatever. $20 double jacks. I mean, it was a little pricey, but great venue. I will say this: we're at the Speedway in Richmond, the NASCAR Speedway, right? And there's just this little amphitheater out there. It looked like it was built in 1987, and it was just cool. It probably fit 5,000 or 6,000 people, and it was a perfect size. And it was a really cool venue. There was really no bad seats. Although I will say this, people that do sound production at live shows, could you take your head out of your ass and tone it down a little bit? I am by no means one of these people that's like, if it's too loud and you're getting too old. I'm not. I love loud stuff like you wouldn't believe. In fact, I have tortured my ears with more stuff, even to this day, than I really should have. And one of the days I'm going to wake up like, Pete Townsend. I'm going to have dang tinnitus or something. But so I have abused my ears, believe me. But it's like, I've gone to shows where like I really wanted to see the bands, and I saw Seven Dust one time and Gojira. The first time I saw Gojira years ago, I was like, I can't even hear what they're playing. The only reason I know what I'm listening to is because I know the songs. It's just so distorted and loud, and it's like, guys, just bring the levels like 8% down. It'll still be loud. Believe me, I see all the damn speakers. It'll still boom when they hit stuff, but it doesn't have to be so loud that it's just distorted sounding. And it was interesting watching 4 bands in an outdoor venue, and how the production and the mixing of all the levels and everything can be so vastly different. But at any rate, so get back to the Airbnb there, because we walk out of the show and we go over to the rideshare portion, which we thought we were onto something. Not that we were the only people that knew who Uber was, but we walk out and we get there and we're like, man, this is awesome. Like, it put us like right at the gate. We walk right in, everything's good. I had a fake cast on that I had made a bottle of bourbon that I had taped over my arm, and then made a fake cast, soft cast. Walk right in, take the cast off. You got a whole thing of bourbon. It's just how you get through life, right? It's a shell game. It's a moving shell game, and the cast, that's where it's at. I'm not about people, like, there's levels of deception and getting through security. I'm not about people that like fake, put an air cast on so they can get in the front of the line at Disney. That's a little unethical, but of course, it does beg the question why I bought a double Jack and Coke, but we ran out at the end. But here's the deal, right? So we come back out of the show and we're like, that's right, gonna get the old Uber, go the 2.3 miles back to the house and chill out. And we get out and there are no less than 87 people waiting for Ubers. And I'm like, this explains why the Uber loop was so long when we got here, because we got there, pretty early. And so we waited. It probably took like 30, 45 minutes that some dude from, God knows where. He wasn't Italian, but he looked Italian, but he wasn't. He finally found us, and we got in his Mitsubishi Galant, and we rode on back through the house. And Richmond's one of those towns where you're like, oh, this is really cool. All right, roll them up. Everybody got your guns loaded. I mean, and then you're like, oh, I like this. And, oh, gentrification. I mean, it's just, there's levels to Richmond. And you're just like, there's pockets of good and there's pockets of bad. And they're just layered like a cake on top of each other. But we get back to the room. We're like, we make the greatest decision of the night, which is to go to Waffle House. And so we get to the Waffle House. And I realized that, I'm like, man, this is like Richmond Waffle House. I pull in thinking there's going to be 800 people, right? There's not. I go in there, there's two dudes sitting at the bar and some Hispanic family who was getting up to leave when we got there. So it's us and these two dudes. And for whatever reason, these two dudes are sitting at the bar, and when I say bar, the 4 seats that they have next to the register, I don't even know why they do that, but it's so that you can get all the dishwater splashed on you as they're washing the dishes. I think that's why they do it. It's like being at the zoo and you're like, oh, this is where they wash. That was soap. That's where they wash the dishes. It's great. I think that's what it is. It's so you can watch the people, directly instead of having to turn your head. But we get there and they give us a stink eye, and I don't know why. We didn't do anything, right? But they're dressed like they're coming out of a duck blind, and should be, out with 20 gauges and all. But at any rate, we found out very quickly that, thank the gods, that there was I think it's called Touch Tunes. There's like they got those jukeboxes, and my buddy's he had 49 credits. I don't know why he uses that sometimes, but he had 49 credits. And we found this, it takes 3 plays in a row of Hanson's Bop before you really start to piss off people dressed like they come from a duck blind at 1:30 in the morning in a Richmond area thing. Because the first time it comes on, bop, a ticka pop, pop, dude, and they're sitting there like, and they go back to eating their food, the song goes out, and it's like, bop, but it comes back on, and they're like, and then they're kind of annoyed, and then they just kind of started looking around like, it ain't us, and it ain't the stat, and we just kind of pissed them off. But, and it's right behind them. That was the greatest part about it all. It's just blaring right behind them. But, anyway, you got to be ready to fight at any moment if you're a Richmond area Waffle House, and that's just how life is. But it's all good. So, y'all have a great one, and we'll get it.